Good morning, students. Welcome to physics class. Already in physics, we are seeing with lesson number 3, in which we have seen with the topics based on the magnets and its properties of magnets and properties of magnetic lines of force. So, these are the things which we saw in our last class. Yes, today we are going to see with the next topic, which is Coulomb's law. So for considering with the Coulomb's law, we are going to consider with the two magnets. So generally, what is the property of a magnet is, if you are considering a magnet like this, so this is a north pole and this is a south pole. We know that when you are bringing two north pole together, it repels, and same way when you are bringing two south pole together, there is also repulsion because they are of same poles repels. Yes, and when you are bringing the opposite poles, that such as south pole and north pole, it attracts. Same way here also, south pole and north pole, it attracts. So this is the general thing of a magnet. Based on this, we are going to see with what is the Coulomb's law. So Coulomb's law, the statement is very important. So what is the statement of Coulomb's law is, Coulomb's law states that the force of attraction or repulsion between two magnetic poles is directly proportional to the product of the pole strength and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. So here what are the things we have to consider is, first one, the force, then next is it is directly proportional to the pole strength and inversely proportional to square of the distance. Okay, so first one is directly proportional, then next one is inversely proportional. Yes, so the force of attraction or repulsion between the two magnetic poles. So generally we can write this as F, because F is said to be the force of attraction or repulsion. The force of attraction or repulsion, it is directly proportional. So first one is what? Directly proportional to what? Product of pole strength. So here we are denoting the pole strength to be Q. Sorry, let us denote the pole strength to be Q here. So we are writing this as Q1 and Q2. So these are all the pole strength. Okay. Next is inversely proportional. So inversely proportional to what? Square of the distance. So that I am going to write as F inversely proportional, and so proportional to 1 by the distance square, because it is a square of the distance, so it is r square. Okay, so combining this both, we can also write the next equation, which is F proportional to q1 q2 by r square. Okay, so this is Coulomb's law. So the force of attraction or repulsion, this force is very important. Okay, force of either attraction or the repulsion, it is directly proportional. Okay, so directly proportional to what? Proportional to the product of the pole strength and inversely proportional. So inversely proportional to what? The square of the distance between them. Okay, so this Coulomb's law is very important. The force of attraction or repulsion is directly proportional to product of pole strength and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Okay, so are you all clear with this? What is Coulomb's law? This Coulomb's law is very important, and this formula will be using for all the other questions also. Okay, so next we are going to see with the equation for this. So generally we will be writing this as, so Coulomb's law can be written in the equation as F proportional to QMA divided by R square into R cap. Here, as I have told you already, QMA and QMB, these two are the pole strength. Okay, so QMA and QMB are the pole strength, and R is the distance. So MA and MB are the pole strength. So here it is given as MA and MB are the pole strength, but QMA and QMB are the pole strength, and R is the distance. Now here we have a symbol which is proportional. To remove this proportionality, and we have to write as equal to. So equal to, if we have to write, we have to introduce a constant. The constant which I am introducing here is k. Okay, so to remove this proportionality, now we will get as f is equal to some constant k into this term as it is. Okay, so if we are writing in magnitude, this vector goes. Okay, so we can strike off this vector. So generally we will be writing like this. So this is a general form of writing for the Coulomb's law. Force between the two poles. Next is same way, take the same equation again. The same equation is f is equal to k into qma divided by r square. Now instead of this k also has the value. So what is the constant of, what is this constant k is? That constant is also called as a proportionality constant. Okay, so that constant is also called as a proportionality constant, and that also has a value. That value is equal to k is equal to mu naught into 4 pi, and that is also equal to 10 power minus 7. Okay, so k is equal to, wherever you get the value of k, hereafter after this question, wherever you get the value of k, we will be writing as mu naught by 4 pi. Okay, where here mu naught denotes the permeability. Okay, what is a mu naught? Mu naught is the permeability of free space. Okay, what is a k? K is said to be the constant of proportionality or the proportionality constant. Mu naught is said to be the permeability of free space. Yes, clear with this? So after this, we will be using with this formula, f is equal to k into qma qmb by r square. This formula is very, very important. Instead of this k, we will be writing the value mu naught by 4 pi. Yes, clear with this? So based on this, we are also going to see the next question. The next question which we are going to see is the magnetic field along the axial line. Okay, so the question is the magnetic field along the axial line. So for this, first let us consider the magnet. So this is a magnet in which you are considering the magnet to be Ns. In this magnet, let us consider N to be the north pole and S to be the south pole. Okay, so N is the north pole and S is the south pole. Between these two poles, we have the length. The length is measured as 2L. Okay, so between the two poles, the length is measured as 2L, and so if you have to take it in between the length is measured as L plus L. So L plus L is also more or less as 2L. Okay, consider like this, and we are going to consider a point C. That point C is at a distance R from the center O. Okay, so the point C is at a distance R from the center O. Okay, next is from the north pole and from the south pole, we are going to measure the distance of this C. Okay, so from the north pole and from the south pole, if you have to measure the distance of C, how we can write this? Consider this to be the full magnet. Okay, and here we have the point. That point is named as C. Okay, and from here we are connecting to this, and this point is O. That O is said to be the center. So the total length of the magnet is measured to be 2L. This is the total length of the magnet from the point S to the point L. That is from the point south pole to the north pole. That length is measured fully to be 2L. So instead of writing as 2L, we are writing separately this to be of value L, and again this to be of value L. Yes, now from this point O, if you have to measure this point C. Okay, so how we are going to write this is already this point is measured as R. Okay, so if you have to find this, so I am just going to draw this separately. This point let us consider as O. This is a point N, and this gives a point C. Okay, and now this full distance we are measuring as R full distance is measured as r, and this distance we are measuring as L. Okay, now you have to know this distance. So how to measure this? This full distance minus this. So this becomes as r minus L. Okay, so that is what is written here. This is r minus L. Same way, from this point S, if we have to measure to the point C, again see here, this point gives your value of r, and this plus this distance, and so we are writing as r plus L. So this full distance we are writing as r plus L. This distance we are measuring as r minus L. So whenever you are measuring from North Pole will be writing as r minus L, and from South Pole will be writing as r plus L. So instead of the distance r, we will be writing with this value. Then one more thing what you have to know in this is about the axis. So whenever you are considering the normal axis, we will be writing as x-axis and y-axis. That is the general representation of any axis, is it not? So we will be writing either x-axis or y-axis. So in x-axis, if you see, this is positive and this side is negative, and same way for y-axis, this is positive and this side is negative. X-axis will be writing as the term I, and for y-axis we will be writing with the term j. Okay, so when you see here, this is positive x-axis, so we are writing as plus I. Now this is negative x-axis, so we are writing as minus I. Here positive y-axis, so plus j, negative y-axis, so minus j. But here where you are considering along this axis, okay, along this. So this is pointing along what axis? X-axis. So positive x-axis. So all the values will be considering it to be positive values. Okay. Now let us go on with the next thing. Okay. Next we will also seeing the derivation part in this. So consider the force of repulsion between the North Pole and the point C. As I have told you already, whenever you are considering as North Pole அப்படினால என்ன எடுத்துக்கணும்னு சொன்ன distance வந்து r minus L. So what is the general formula for force is F is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi, where mu naught is said to be what? Mu naught is said to be the permeability. So mu naught by 4 pi into Q1 into Q2, but here we are generally taking as only one charge, and so we are writing just Q alone. So Q divided by r square. Okay, so instead of this r square, here we are writing as r minus L, because r minus L is the distance between the North Pole and the point C. Okay, so point C को North Pole को रखने distance है r minus L. Yes, clear? Same way, next is we will be considering the equation for South Pole. So South Pole na enna eludhuvom, here we are taking as r minus L. So next equation will be writing as r plus L. Okay, so next. So see here for the South Pole, this is, we are considering the South Pole and the point C. As I have told you, South Pole and the point C, we will be writing the distance to be r plus L. So first equation we are writing as r minus L, second equation we are writing as r plus L. So we are going to take with these two equations and we are going to add this. Okay, so next one is Fn is equal to, F is equal to Fn plus Fs, because total force is equal to what? Sum of the North Pole and the South Pole forces. Now instead of this F we are going to write as B, because the force is equal to the magnetic field. So instead of this F, I am going to write the term as B. Then I am going to write Fn and Fs. So Fn is what? North Pole. North Pole, as I have told you already, it is r minus L. Then Fs is what? South Pole. South Pole, as I have told you, it is r plus L. Okay, other terms as it is, mu naught by 4 pi
qm into I vector. Now, so what are all the common terms here? When you see here, this plus into minus, this becomes as minus, okay? So now, what are all the common terms in this? If you see, so the common terms are mu naught, then 4 pi and qm as well as I. These are all the common terms. So these terms we are taking outside. So if you take these term outside, the remaining term is r minus l. So before writing as r minus l, we will be writing as 1 divided by, because no term is there in the numerator. So we will be writing as 1 divided by. Same way here also, this mu naught, 4 pi, qm and this I. We can take in common. The remaining term is 1 divided by r plus I the whole square. Okay. So this is the one. Next is, considering with these two terms, what you are going to do is, we are going to take the LCM. Okay. So if you take the LCM, what you will get is, so next we have, so outside this term as it is, mu naught qm divided by 4 pi as it is. Then just multiply these terms in the opposite side. So first we have with 1 divided by r minus l minus 1 divided by r plus l. So what you are going to do is, first multiply this r plus l this side, okay, and same way multiply this r minus l this side, and multiply these two terms in the denominator. Okay, so r minus l the whole square minus r plus l the whole square divided by these two terms. Okay, so the equation what you get in the next one is r plus l the whole square minus r minus l the whole square divided by these two. Okay, now we can just use with the formula of a plus b the whole square. So if you expand this using a plus b the whole square, a square plus b square plus 2ab, then minus as it is, again this is a square plus b square minus 2ab. Now multiply this minus inside, minus into minus is plus. Okay, so minus r square minus l square minus into minus plus, and when you multiply these two terms, this is of the form a minus b the whole square, and this is a plus b the whole square. That can be written as a square minus b square the whole square, because a plus b into a minus b is what? We know the formula only for a plus b into a minus b, is it not? So a plus b into a minus b, a plus b into a minus b, that can be written as what? A square minus b square, is it not? So a square minus b square. So this is the general formula, but here we are having the term which is a plus b the whole square and a minus b the whole square. So this can be written as a square minus b square the whole square. Yes, clear with this? Okay, then next we have, writing all these terms here, we'll get a square minus b square the whole square. Now they are just multiplied here. Next is, this is plus r square, and also we have the term which is minus r square. So plus r square minus r square gets cancelled. Same way plus l square minus l square get cancelled. 2rl plus 2rl, that becomes this 4rl. But this term I am writing as it is. So we get mu naught qm by 4 pi as it is, 4rl divided by r square minus l square the whole square into I cap. Now what I am going to do is this 4. How we can write this 4 is, 4 can be written as 2 into 2. Okay, so I am going to write this 4 as 2 into 2, then other terms as it is. Okay, so when you write the term like that, we will be getting the equation as, equation we are getting is, so see here I am writing this as, this is 4rl, I am just writing as 2r into 2l, so that this qm into this 2l. Okay, so if you multiply this qm into this 2l, we will be writing this as Pm. Okay, so mu naught by 4 pi as it is, then 2r as it is divided by this term also as it is, but instead of this Qm into 2L I am going to write it as Pm because Pm is said to be the magnetic moment. Okay, next is the value of R is considered to be very large when you consider the value of L. So what is R and what is L is, if you consider this to be the magnet, okay, and here we are having the point which is C. From this point, midpoint, we are measuring this distance and that distance is measured to be R. But this small distance, so this is a small distance and this distance we are measuring as L. L. Okay. Now suppose, consider that you are considering the point C at a very far distance, and same way if it is going on like that, that value of R is considered to be very large when you consider the value of L. So what we are going to do is neglecting the value of L comparing to R. Okay, so neglect the value of L comparing to R. So we will be getting as R square the whole square. So that R square the whole square can be written as R power 4. So instead of this term fully, I am going to write this term as R power 4. Now the next is 1R and 1R gets cancelled. So already we have the term 4. 1R if it is cancelling, you will get as 3. So R cube. Okay, and this Pm into this I cap, that can be written as Pm vector. Okay, so we are writing this as mu naught divided by 4 pi 2 Pm divided by R cube. So this gives you a magnetic field which is along the axial line. So magnetic field along the axial line equation is this, which is mu naught by 4 pi 2 divided by R cube into Pm vector. Yes, okay. Thank you children.